Gibble the Goblin Has a Problem. Written and illustrated by Cad E. Wampus. Gibble the Goblin had a problem. He didn't know how to talk. He could squeak. He could squawk. He could even balk. But he didn't know how to talk. One day, while walking in the Valley of Vey, he saw a boy with a toy and he wanted to play. But this poor little goblin did not know what to say. So all that came out was... Poor little Gibble. Next, he walked along the river of Bass. He saw a stone bridge and wanted to pass. But this poor little goblin did not know how to ask. So all that came out was... Naughty little Gibble. Later that night, in the mountains of Might, he saw some food and wanted a bite. But this poor little goblin did not know what was right. So all that came out was... Hungry little Gibble. Our poor little goblin had a big problem. He couldn't get what he wanted, and he didn't know why. So he put his head in his hands, and he started to cry. But then, who should whiz over flying by in the sky? Why, a fabulous young wizard whose name was just Gizzard, and he can tell something was wrong. He looked down below to the swamps of Muckmire, and he could see down below that poor little crier. With one little look, he knew right away. He knew what the problem was, and he knew what to say.
Trouble talking to people? Well, from what I have heard, it's really quite simple. You need only one word. 'Tis a magical word with magical power, and it will open the world just like a flower. People who hear it are much more agreeable, and then, my friend, things are much more foreseeable. To get what you want with the greatest of ease, you need only one word, and that word is... please. It's easy to use, it's easy to say. You don't need much practice, you can start right away. In a sentence, you can put it at the front or the end. You can use this word with strangers or friends. Can you help me, please? Please help me. Don't be shy, amply apply. You'll have far less refusals and therefore less reason to cry. And if you're ever in trouble, don't scream and don't yelp. With this marvelous word, it's easy to get help. Also, in addition to please, there's another thing to say. To sound more polite, you can always use may. May I have that, please? Or please, may I? It's really quite useful. Just give it a try. So now I think you're ready for the final test. Now I think you're ready to make a polite request.
And so Gizzard took Gibble to all the places from before. But now it was different, because now he knew more. First they returned to the Valley of Vey. Gibble saw the toy with which he wanted to play. But now the boy shared it because Gibble knew what to say. Next they went back to the river of Bass, and Gibble saw the bridge he had wanted to pass. But Lagoon didn't get angry because Gibble knew how to ask. And as they approached the mountains of Might, they both got hungry and wanted a bite. But now they got food because Gibble knew what was right. Gibble felt great. He felt so good inside. He knew how to talk. He didn't have to hide. He jumped into the air with a whoop and a shout. He took all those good feelings and let them shout out. It had been a long and successful day, yet now it seemed that the wizard had something more to say.
Gibble, you're a polite little fella now. That's perfectly true. But once you get what you've asked for, there's something more to do. And that is, of course, to say a great big thank you. Now, from what I've told you, from what you now know, being polite is the only way to go. So listen up, Gibble. Gibble? Now where did you go?
Gibble the Goblin quietly crept away. He felt he had learned quite enough for one day. He knew what was important, and he knew what to say. But now all he wanted was to go out and play. So he decided to save the next lesson for another day. The end? What a wonderful story! So, adventurers, have you ever been asked to do something by your parents, teachers, or friends? What did they say to you? Did they ask you nicely, or did they just order you around? When someone asks you to do something nicely, they usually use a word called please. And when you say please to someone, it shows that you are being polite and respectful. Think about it this way. Imagine you are playing with your favorite toy and a friend asks if they can play with it for a little while. If they just grabbed the toy and started playing with it without asking, you might feel a little upset or even angry, right? But if your friend asks nicely and says, "Please, can I play with your toy?" then you are more likely to feel happy and to share it with them. By using please, your friend is showing that they respect your feelings and your property. Saying please is also a way to show gratitude. If you ask your mom for a glass of water and she brings it to you right away, saying please and thank you will make her feel appreciated and happy to help you out. So remember, adventurers, saying please is important because it shows respect for others and makes them feel valued. Plus, it's always nice to be polite and make others feel good. We hope you enjoyed today's book, and please do consider supporting the author. Link in the description below. Also, please hit the subscribe and like button so you can learn along with us again very soon. Well, thanks very much for learning along with us, adventurers. We hope to see you again soon for another Learn Along adventure.